What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jay. Welcome back. Today we have Lamin here. We'll be talking about his Peace Corps experience. So stick around and we'll get right into it. But before you go, check out the new shirt. What's going on, guys? Please join me in welcoming Lamin here. Lamin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jay. Thank you.
So let's get started. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, your background, your hometown, where you grew up, and your school, if you attended school.
Absolutely.
Things of that nature.
Okay, absolutely. So my name is Lamin. I was born in Sierra Leone, originally from Sierra Leone, and I grew up in West Philadelphia. So when I moved to Philadelphia, I attended Charles Drew Elementary School. And where I met Jay, it's been for 15 years now.
It's been a long time, yeah.
So I met Jay there. And then so after Drew, I went to Constitution High School. That was my first high school. I spent about 2 years there because I wanted to play soccer, and at the time, they didn't have a team. So I transferred to SLA, and then so I played soccer there, and then I graduated from SLA. So after SLA, I went to Penn State University.
Okay.
The Pennsylvania State University. So initially, when I went to college at Penn State, my first major was in sport management because, like I said earlier, I love sport and that was my passion. So when I went to college, I didn't know I had to take classes pertaining to sport management. I thought I'd go to college and then learn about just sports, but I know how to take biology and a lot of mathematics, and I'm not good in science. So so I figured that wasn't for me. So I spoke to my guidance counselor, and then she sort of advised me, so take some few classes your second semester and see how you like those classes, and then maybe you come back to me and then we can talk more about what classes that you like and what classes that you didn't like. I said, okay. So next semester, her and I just sat down. We picked some few business classes, international business classes,
okay, and
then ag business classes, and then some finance class. So I took those classes and then decided that I want to do something in business. So that's why so I changed my major to international agribusiness management. Even then, I didn't know for sure where I want to go with that in terms of a career, because there's a lot of opportunity out there for international business,
okay,
especially agribusiness management.
What is agribusiness management?
So agribusiness management, so it's focused on just distribution of food, and because how you have food in the supermarket, that goes to agribusiness channel. We work on import and export from different country or nation, depending on what the company that's handling food transportation, logistics, stuff like that. So that's what agribusiness does. To cut the long story short, after my first semester of my senior year, that's when I decided that, okay, I want to do something internationally.
Right.
So I spoke to one of our mentors. He told me that, why don't you think about joining the Peace Corps? There's a lot of opportunity in that area because they hire mostly people who are graduated from college, with a degree but with no experience. Initially, based on my degree, they give me a lot of options that I can pick for, economic development, which is a big thing in developing country.
Right.
So with the Peace Corps, it's a grassroots organization. So what the Peace Corps does is they actually go and work with the people that needs this development, whether it's in business or education or health. So I decided that I was going to do community economic development and food security advisor.
What was the process like from, let's just say, when you asked your advisor to getting into Peace Corps? What was that process?
Okay, so when I spoke to my advisor about joining the Peace Corps, that I'm really interested in joining the Peace Corps, she said, you have to go to the Peace Corps website and look at the criteria they're looking for and make sure you fulfill those. As you mentioned earlier, you need just your bachelor's degree. You have to complete your bachelor's degree.
Okay.
I said, okay, so I'm gonna complete that, in the next semester. She said also you have to check the website, make sure that your medical stuff are updated, and if not, then you should work on them now. So that way, when you apply, you don't have to worry about it. It might derail the process, So I make sure I went on the website, and I also talked to the recruiter that I met at Penn State, and then she was able to guide me to some of the resources that were available to Peace Corps volunteer. I made sure I got all my medical done. Also, you need recommendation from your professors or anybody that should know you, or any volunteer experience, because they're big on the volunteer experience as well. So make sure you include those if you have volunteer experience. And so I made sure I had all that covered, and then I applied, and then I had to wait there for 2 months. I didn't hear back.
So in terms of the preparation for actually the departure, were there any steps between you graduating and going? Was there any process of that? Like, I mean, did you have to learn a little new language or anything like that?
Okay. So if it's not an English speaking country, you have to learn the language before you actually start doing anything, you know, with
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So wait, you had only 6 months to learn the language?
No.
Okay.
You don't have 6 months. So the learning, okay, this is just going into my job nowadays. So the learning actually start once you get into the country that you're going to be staying for the next 2 years.
So you're learning, the language learning would start in February for you when you actually got to the country?
Yeah, when I went to Madagascar, that's when the language learning starts.
Got you. So
when you go to your country of service, it's a 3-month intensive training, meaning that language training and also technical training within those 3 months, that you have to at least be a little proficient, you know, by the end of 3 months in order for you to, they won't pressure you, but, you know, at least try, because these are people that you're going to be working with, so you want to make sure you're knowledgeable of whatever project you want to work on.
Gotcha. So what was the structure of the training?
So every day for 3 months. So it's Monday through Friday, just like a regular, you know, week, 9 to 5, regular week. So in the morning from 8 to 2, it's intensive language training. So you're in the classroom with like the locals.
Wow.
And also with the.
Do they speak English or no?
Yeah, yes. Some of them speaks English.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're in Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. You're just learning the language. 2 to 5, I'm doing technical training on business planning, how to find a market for the people I'm going to be working with. So after 3 months of you learning your language, and then your cultural, technical training, and then you're not ready to go to where you're going to be working for the next 2 years.
Right.
So once you get there, you don't actually start working with them yet.
Okay.
So you do something that they call a community diagnosis like survey.
Okay.
Just to see exactly if the business idea that they mention is feasible for that community, because they can say, oh, we need this, but then you go there, then actually there's no business.
Right.
Once I go to my site, I'm there for 3 months before I do anything. So that 3 months is just me doing a community survey, also integrating with the people so they know me, they're comfortable with me, and then so they gain my trust, you know. And then after that, that's when we'll figure out exactly what the community need. And then from there, we set up a meeting, and then I'll talk to the community, hey, I heard what you guys spoke about, you know, and also I've seen with my eyes, you know, what's good for this town. And then I think I might be able to help you guys. So I'm gonna go back to Peace Corps and present this idea that we all have worked together and come up with that I think would be beneficial for this town. But before I leave, I'm gonna take maybe 1 or 2 people who is willing to come with me, is willing to learn with me and come back and able to implement this idea or experience that we get from the Peace Corps. Because after my 3 months, they have to go back to get another training, because the training that I received initially might not be the need of that community, so I have to go back in the drawing board.
Oh wow,
and,
okay.
Yeah, and then retrain again.
Jeez.
But now I'm taking somebody from that community that's in that business, and then to the Peace Corps, and then Peace Corps will call people from, you know, the city who are also Malagasy or any national in their nation, and to like kind of teach the people, because like those are their people, so they understand each other, so they understand how to like teach and how to relate information to their own people. So I'll take my counterpart, we train together, you know, we spend like three months with the Peace Corps.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then we train together, and then we come back, and then that's when we actually start doing work. So when we come back, we actually start the project. So now you have like a year left, you know.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. So every day, this is my everyday job now. So once we're established, this community needs to find a market. So now every day.
Can we talk specifically about what you did in terms of your community?
Okay, absolutely. So I lived in a small fishing town.
Okay.
So I live with 80% of people that live in my town are fishermen, and then so I was able to help them develop business plan and also find a market in the next city. So now every day I'll go see how many fish they catch, or also how much were they selling their fish for. So initially they were just selling the fish. People would come in the village and buy the fish there, and then they would take it to the market and sell it for a higher price. So so they wanted to cut that. So they wanted to take the fish into the city themselves, and then sell it for a higher price, and then they can have higher profit,
more money,
and so
right?
they can share within the community.
Wow.
But they were not working together. It was every man for himself.
Got you.
So I was able to work with them to form this cooperative, and then once we form the cooperative, so every day is just going over simple accounting. Like for example, I'll go over okay, how many fish did you catch? And then how much you selling individual by kilo, so we have to write that down.
Okay.
So so I would just teach them something they don't pay attention to. They would just put the fish and kind of eyeball it, and kind of just give them a price.
So you're almost teaching financial literacy in the process. Wow.
So I have to teach them that. So every day I go watch them and see how they're selling their fish, and I said no, that is not right. I was able to teach them the basic accounting, basic finance. And so from there I was able to persuade them to kind of open a little microfinancing bank.
Okay.
Where as a cooperative they would sell the fish for the day and then use some of that money and put it in that community bank that we have created. And then somebody will be responsible for that.
Wow.
And so that money will not be charged until we need new equipment. We need to reinvest back in the business.
So essentially you're taking this town that was separated, you're making it into one business and then kind of running it as a corporation together. Got you. So your day-to-day was essentially you taking into account of what people were catching, what they were, basically literally what they were doing with their business.
Right, exactly.
So then what was the next step?
So the next step is, so after I did all that, I did it for about 4 months, and then now it's to teach them how to do it themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, because they're watching me do all this because they don't know how to do this. So now I gotta teach them, okay, I want you, Jay, tomorrow to be accountable of, keeping inventory. So that way, if I'm not here, you know what to do. Right. And then I want, this person to be accountable of inventory of how many fishing net was destroyed. So that way we know exactly how many to buy next time. Right. And then also who's catching what, and you have to keep inventory, and also inventory of the money, how much money we made that day. This is blowing my mind. This is incredible. Yeah, how much money we made that day. It's not an easy task. So I did that, but I only do that the first half of the morning. Like I said, I was an economic developer, also food security. So I also had to teach the other 20% of the 10 who are not fishermen, who like the fact that I was there helping the fishermen find a market for the business. I also had to work with local farmers as well, who are farming, but also they want to sell their vegetables. Wow. So I had to so I had two. So you had fish and you had vegetables. Right, vegetables. So that's my. The first half of the morning, because the fisherman goes and catch fish early in the morning. So from 7 in the morning until 12, I spend time with the fishermen, and then lunch, and then in the afternoon, I go hang out with the fishermen. Not the fishermen. No, sorry, the farmers. And then see, what kind of crops they're producing. Maybe I can, suggest some other crops that they can actually grow. Right. So they can have more crops to, distribute. I mean, I kind of want to transition into asking you, what was, the most enjoyable part of your whole experience? The most enjoyable part of it, to be honest, is just being there and actually people approaching you and willing to learn, even though they're afraid. They're as nervous as you are, And like to see them approach you and they're really interested, they're listening, and then they're following everything that you say, and then they're doing it.
Right.
That was because I'm really young, so these are like adults coming to me,
right,
and asking me, and I've never had that, so that was really like enjoyable for me. I was like, wow, like this is somebody that actually been farming for years,
right,
and asking me for ideas,
right,
you know, of a
so
new farming technique, that I just learned,
right.
So I felt like I'm just teaching them that because I know they're gonna pass it along to their kids.
Yeah. So what was the least enjoyable part of the whole journey?
Just bringing the community together, telling them that you guys are all you have here. This is your community.
Right.
You should care more about it than anybody else. And then also the language also was the hardest part for me. Because
I mean, that's only your like 8th language.
Right. Well, you know, that's right.
If you were to change anything about the experience, what would you change?
Peace Corps should do a better job in terms of like informing us more about the community itself. Because like everything I learned, I have to go into the community. Well, I guess that's the
part of the experience.
Well, part of the experience,
right.
You know. But I wish I know beforehand so I can be better prepared. The way they used to do in the past, where you learn the language here before you go, they should actually like bring that back, just to like, you know, save some time.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I would change.
Gotcha.
But everything else is.
Any weird surprises in this journey?
Yeah. So some of you who have never traveled overseas, food, and then also bathrooms. So it's not everywhere you go to have a luxurious bathroom. So those are some of the weird surprises, but you have to learn how to adapt to it.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, Lamin. I really appreciate it. If you are interested in a specific career path or know someone who'd like to be interviewed, please email us at askalutely@gmail.com. That's basically absolutely without the BS.